This is SIF TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Edward Norton. And it's my great pleasure to introduce one of our great critics here in Seattle, Tom Tagney.
So, thanks again, Edward, for showing up. I've had a chance to talk to you, but only by phone, so it's a real treat for me to see you in person and watch your reaction to my questions. The first thing I'd like to ask, though, is I think it's really a testament to your acting ability that none of us has a real read on who you are and what makes you tick.
That's fine with me.
So I thought I'd just ask you a couple of very easy biographical questions first to get the ball rolling.
All right, I make no promises.
I'm sure you don't. But first off, what kind of kid were you? What was it like growing up in the 70s and 80s? What were your family dynamics, the life on the East Coast? Just give us a sense of what you were 20 years ago.
Now, and what do you think that will illuminate? In what way will that improve people's experiences of watching my films?
Here's the problem of being a celebrity. Everyone wants to know everything about you.
Right.
So if I ask you generally...
In no way does that compel me to answer those questions.
Is it somehow deceiving to let people know that? Do you feel like it gets in the way of your artistry?
I think it can only get in the way, yeah.
Okay.
I won't go as far as sort of Bob Dylan's line that just because you like what I do doesn't mean I owe you anything. Yes. But I'd say I don't think that anybody's enjoyment of an actor's work in a film is enhanced in any way by knowing anything about them.
My jaw was just on the floor the whole way through that movie because, if you grew up in a city in the East in the 80s and went to public school, nobody said those things back then. I mean, I don't know if any of you remember what it was like then when that movie came out, but it's hard to describe the impact it had on a lot of people. It was not just that nobody in America talked about race that way. No one talked about what it was like. No one said those words, but nobody made movies like that. It was like this whole new language, and it was so original, and so the colors were so crazy, and the camera pushing right in on people's faces while they talked, and it just blew my mind, and I literally had to go back. My friends and I walked right back in and watched it again, and that turned me on to Spike Lee,
Multi-Oscar nominated actor. You've been in a lot of big projects. What attracts you to independent films like Leaves of Grass, for instance?
Well, it was just very original. I thought Tim's script was really original, and I like Tim Blake Nelson a lot. I think he's really talented actor and writer, and so it's hard to find things that feel like you haven't seen that movie before. So. And then one of my other favorite moments was actually after we made the movie. There was I don't know how many of you read the book, but there's a line in the book, in Chuck's book, where he's the narrator saying, Marla says things, Marla says, and then it's all these sort of edgy things that Marla says, and the last one is Marla says, I want to have your abortion. And so it was in the movie, it was in this scene in the movie, and everybody was sort of around, and the person who will remain nameless, who was the executive in charge of that movie at the time, they showed the movie for the first time, and all of these Fox executives walked out just ashen. They were whiter than my shirt. They were like, what have you guys done to us with the $67 million that we gave you to make this film? And they're seeing their careers flash in front of their eyes. And the first thing that one of them says is, okay, there are a lot of things that we need to discuss about this film, but the first one is that line is out of this film. And Fincher said, like, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll write a bunch of other lines. We'll shoot them at your cost, and we'll test them. And if any of them test better than that line, which is getting a big laugh, then we'll put that in. And she goes, fine. Nothing could be worse than that line. So we all sat around and tried to beat it. And I'm pretty sure it was Andy Walker who came up with, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school. Fincher went, score. So we did that, we put it back in, and the same executive came up and said, it's worse, put it back. And Fincher said, no. And so when you get to that point in the film, that's what went on.